Good morning, gang. Happy Friday morning. What a wild week it's been, and we got the last day today. Jeez. And I'm talking about the markets. Pick one of them, okay? Whether you're talking about the S&P that hit a new high this week, whether you're talking about the NASDAQ, which hit a new high this week, whether you're talking about, I don't know, NVIDIA is the first $4 trillion company, whether you're talking about Bitcoin, that, as I'm recording this, is at 118 plus, it was 109 2 days ago. Whether you're talking about gold, which is within $100 of an all-time high. Whether you're talking about silver, which is, notwithstanding a couple of market-manipulated 50s over the last 40 years, at a recent, long-term recent high, up over 37. Yeah, it's been crazy. And I'll tell you exactly why. Okay. Again, I keep talking about the dollar index, down around 97 and a quarter. It stayed steady this week, with the dollars getting weaker. Anybody looked at M2 lately? The money supply. Doink. It's going straight up. Printing, printing, printing. Okay, this is it. What you're seeing, I'll give you the other one. All those dividend-paying stocks that I've told you about, go take a look at what they've done. It's been a very nice week looking at those going, holy crap. I mean, to give you this, boring old Ford, up over 25% for the year. Okay? Yeah. And I mean, I could talk about the other ones I've told you about, is Dow Chemical or LyondellBasell, or pick something, any of these things that I've looked at, Pfizer, stuff like that. They're all rallying quite well. Why? Because people are getting out of dollars and putting their money somewhere else by any possible means necessary to protect what they have, to buy something tangible and not be in the dollars. We've said that many times, the collapse of fiat economy. I mean, we've been talking about this for what? Since the beginning of the channel? What's going to happen? I mean, are you ready for the collapse of the US dollar? It may not mean a collapse of the economy, however it may, okay? But people, companies, institutions, whatever, are doing whatever they can to protect their assets, and you should be doing the same. Now, I'm not going to even begin to try to give anybody financial advice and say you should buy this, because every one of us is different. We have different scenarios in our life, different situations. Are we 30? Are we 70? Are we in our peak earning years? Are we retired? Whatever, okay? What's our risk tolerance? Do I have all my bills paid off? Is my house paid for? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a whole bunch of different things. So please don't ask me, should I buy this? I can't tell you that. You need to know. I mean, I've given you all these different ideas on where to go over the course of the last few years, and not patting myself on the back, because Christ, in the last 6 months practically, at least the last 3, you could throw a dart at a newspaper and be successful. Gee, I'm going to buy silver. You made money. I'm going to buy Bitcoin. I made money. Gee, I'm going to buy the S&P. I made money. It's not, gee, what a great idea. Everything's up, okay? Except for the dollar, which is down. That's what everybody's trying to get out of. So then you get the latest other push, if you will. And this came out last night, which I'm skeptical on this one. I think it's kind of a little weird. I mean, yesterday was a big rally day for everything. And right after the post-market, the aftermarket closed, Trump announced there would be a 35% tariff on Canada starting August 1st. And that would go up if they tried to do anything in the way of retaliatory tariffs. The deal is, because, as at least what he's saying, there hasn't been any slowdown, any stop, any effort to halt the fentanyl coming across the border. All right, so you're going to do something. If you're not going to stop it from your end, we're going to stop it from our end, but you're paying for it. Okay, that's kind of the way I read is what he's trying to do. Will it be a boon to the United States? Maybe. I mean, it's not like we import stuff from Canada like we import stuff from China. All right, nothing close to that. Sure, we get timber. Sure, we get oil. Sure, you could talk a little bit about the electricity in the New England states, but overall, it's not like the stuff you and I buy day to day is coming from Canada. So the inflationary pressures aren't going to hit us as much, but they will hit the general economy, especially when you're talking about things like oil and lumber. Okay, will we see gas prices move? I don't think so, personally. I think what will happen is we will just wind up importing less oil from Canada because Canada's not going to want to deal with it. The timber one, okay, that could be an issue. Not that we don't have enough here in the country, but we buy a lot of timber, 2x4s and whatever, from Canada. This could affect home prices. This certainly will affect the prices at places like Walmart, Home Depot, or Lowe's, or something like that, your lumber yards. Okay, so I don't know if we necessarily go back to remember a few years ago we were paying $7 for an 8-foot 2x4. I don't know if we're going to go there. But the big concern I have on that is home prices. And do we get into an issue where home prices start going up again? I mean, mortgage rates have been falling. They've come down 4 weeks straight. That's good. Okay, that's helping people get into houses. But, I mean, I'm sorry, we're not going back to these 3% mortgages. That's just not happening. Okay. But now we start worrying about new construction on homes or remodeling of older homes to try to sell them. You know, anybody ever tried to sell a house? You know, they go through and say, you got to fix this, you got to fix this, you got to fix this, you got to fix this. Well, you know, have a door frame with a little bit of wood rot in it, or have a deck that's got cracks in the wood. They're going to say, nope, that's got to be replaced. And that's going to start getting expensive. Overall, I don't think the tariffs are going to affect you and me that much. The market is having a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction to it. As of time of recording, about 5:30, 5:45. Futures are down like 260 points. It's a decent drop, but after the run-up we've had this week, it ain't much of a big deal. Dow futures I'm talking about, of course. But again, I'm going to say this. Take your ideas. Use your foresight, which all of us have as preppers. This is what we do. And look what everybody else is doing. I'm not talking about everybody else's, I'm going to go out and buy a new jet ski. No, I'm saying look at financially what everybody else is doing. What are the banks doing? What is Warren Buffett doing? What are the major companies doing? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What are countries doing? This will give you your financial signals on what you should be doing. I'm not saying follow the crowd, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, it's just what I'm saying. Do you want to go buy more silver? Yeah, it sucks that it's at this price right now and you're paying a lot, but gee, we've been saying it for 5 years to buy silver. Do you want to go buy Bitcoin? Yeah, well, it sucks being up at 118 something. It ain't done. I'm going to tell you that right now. Just looking at it, if we can hold 118, 126 is the next target, and that's what, 6% up from here. That ain't bad either. Okay. And no, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. Yeah, because any of us, oh, just going to drop $120,000 right here. No, that's not going to happen. But start looking at what to do with your dollars. Yeah, beans, bullets, Band-Aids. Those are the first things we want to get. But eventually you get to the point where you go, honey, we've got 3 years worth of freaking food in the house. Okay? I've got more medical equipment than I know what to do with. I had to go out and buy a third gun safe to put all my ammunition in. Eventually you go, okay, what if the world doesn't go completely FUBAR? The food, okay, you're still rotating your food, you're eating it, okay. But, all right, if I don't have to worry about sucking chest wounds or bullet wounds, okay, I don't need more of this. Ammo, you do, as I joke all the time, how much ammo do you need? More, okay. Eventually you get to the point you go, okay, this is insane how much I've got, all right? Yes, I'm there. So you go, all right, I got to do something. So now you protect yourself from the other kind of war we could wind up in, and that's economic. Find something. I don't care if it's buying more land, if it's gold and silver, if it's Bitcoin, if it's CDs, if you find a decent rate, whatever it is. But somehow, some way, somewhere, figure out how to protect yourself from a collapsing dollar. Because that is exactly what all these alternative investments are telling you right now. Different places to put money, stores of wealth, as everybody likes to call them. But assets, currency type assets, Bitcoin, gold, silver, that sort of stuff, don't move like this without a reason. It's not like everybody just goes, oh, look, gold is back in fashion here and I'm buying more jewelry. That ain't why countries are buying it. Look into it for yourself. Do what's right for you. But God knows if you're sitting on piles and piles of cash, you might as well take a lighter to some of it, because next year it's not going to be worth what it is this year. That's just reality, guys. The dollar is getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And when the Fed cuts rates, which is coming up probably in September, there's an outside chance they do it this month, all that means is the government's going, woohoo, we can borrow more money. And guess what happens? The dollar gets weaker, inflation gets higher, and you're going, crap, now what? Pinball out.